What up? What up? What up? Nick, how
What's
you
going
doing,
on?
man?
What's going on, everyone? Hey, David, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. Can you believe we've already reached our 11th Wedding Business
Stream?
Growth Live? Yes,
This
this is
is
our 11th one.
unbelievable.
Isn't that
This is
crazy?
it feels like the first.
Yeah, it does. And I'm excited to be on board. We're going to have a great show tonight. We have
Yes,
an
we
awesome
are.
guest tonight. Actually, two guests. We have a surprise guest too.
Yep.
So we're gonna really dive into Request Now, and just a little plug for anybody that tunes in early here. Request Now is definitely a great add-on, if you will, for DJs, but it can definitely be used for other wedding vendors as well. And we're going to be talking with one of the co-founders of the company about that a little
Yep.
bit, and how you can utilize the service for more than just being a DJ. So we want to make sure that people tuning in are aware of that and look forward to that. So tonight, Nick, as always, we are broadcasting in the Wedding Business Growth Facebook group,
Yep.
the DJs Helping DJs Facebook group, and the DJs Vault public Facebook group. So thank you to
Thanks.
them, as
Yeah.
always, for letting
Huge
us be a
thanks.
part of those groups. And we're excited to see everybody on. We already got our first comment. Look at there. I
What's
like it.
going
I
on?
like it. You know what? I love when this happens. So whenever you make a comment, if you do not allow StreamYard to show your name or photo on Facebook, we'll have to guess who you are. We will just call you Facebook user, and because that's what it tells us you are. So all you got to do, honestly, all you got to do is in the post for the live video, there's a link to StreamYard. You just give them, option, give them the access to your whole life, maybe. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. It just allows them to show your photo and your name, and then we can know who you are when you make a comment. And
Yep.
also want to let you know, as a viewer, please make comments. Please make questions. We love hearing from you guys. We love being interactive with you guys. This is not just about us sitting up here talking all night. We want our viewers to be a part of it too. So we want your input. We want your questions. We want anything you want to provide us. So
Yep.
go to StreamYard, click on the link that's in the post, and give it permission, and then we're good to go. Otherwise, we're calling you Facebook user. All right, let's move on. Nick, man, I don't know about you, dude, but I had a busy weekend this weekend, right?
It was
So it was a
crazy.
holiday
Yeah.
weekend, but I still ended up doing I got these pod decks in my hand. We're gonna have some fun with those later on.
Yep.
It was like a 3-day, 4-day, 5-day. I don't know. The weekend just kept going on,
It
and
was a
I'm
lot of days.
excited. Yeah, so I'm excited because we got back to doing some events, more than just one in the weekend. So that was great. I think people are getting excited about getting out there and doing events again. I think people are
Yep.
excited about kind of moving into some kind of normality again, and so we're great to hear that. I know that that's not maybe necessarily the case in all around the country yet, and so for those of you guys that are out there that are still not quite out, working and everything, our hearts go out to you guys. Man, we love you guys. We want to just continue to let you know that we got your back, and whatever we can do to help you out, we're here for you. And you and I did an event together yesterday, and that was really
Yes,
kind
we
of more
did.
your event, man. I'm gonna let you tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, dude. Yeah. Well, first of all, I appreciate you helping out, man, because that was
Yeah,
incredible. But we
yeah,
had a great time. We had an MPI September luncheon that we got to live stream, and I put a little highlight video together that'll be coming out probably tomorrow, very soon. I'm going to
yep.
be posting mine up soon. So it was a great time, great information. It was a great speaker. It was a fantastic event, dude. And I learned a lot. I don't know about you, but I learned a lot. So it was very
My
good.
boy
Hey,
Mike Villa checking in. What's up,
what's
homie?
going on, brother?
Yes,
How you
checking
doing,
in
man?
with us. Good to see you,
Appreciate
buddy.
you.
Hope
Yeah,
you guys are staying safe out there on the West Coast, man, with
yeah,
those fires. Goodness, man, that stuff is unbelievable. Actually, I saw some pictures. We were just talking about it off air before we came on tonight, and just some of the pictures that we've seen on social media. It's just unbelievable. So, definitely have all of our California friends out there in our thoughts and prayers, and hoping you guys are staying safe, man. That's a tough thing. That's a tough thing.
definitely. We were just there.
Yeah, yeah.
Scary,
Luckily, we
crazy.
we we did not have to deal with that, because I feel like we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
So, all right, man. Anything else before we get started?
No, I think it was a really good week, though. So happy to be
Yeah,
here. So let's do it.
yeah, man. Yeah, we're definitely blessed, and the rest of us are going to have to continue to keep working to look as stellar as you do now on these lives. You keep forcing me to step my
That's
game up, but
that's what
I'll
it's
I'll
all
keep
about.
I'll keep working on that. All right, so tonight we're excited to have one of the co-founders of a really, really cool program. It's called RequestNow. And I'm going to probably let him tell his background, because you know how bad I am at this. And Mike, thank you, brother. We appreciate you as well.
Amen.
And good to hear you guys are doing well. Good to hear you're doing well. A lot of friends are hurting. Yes, they are.
Man.
Yes, they are. So you let them know we got them in our prayers, man.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him in right now. This is one of the co-founders, Matt from RequestNow, joining us. How's it going, Matt?
Thanks for being here,
I'm
brother.
doing well. Yeah, no, thanks for having me. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Absolutely. So Matt, maybe for starters, can you just maybe give us a little background on yourself? Maybe, you know, you from an industry standpoint, and then we'll kind of work into RequestNow and how that came about.
Yeah, totally. So I started off DJing, like probably a lot of folks who are watching, just kind of in like high school. One of my like really good buddies had a DJ company, and I started off as like an assistant type, so you know, like helping load and set up and stuff like that. And then slowly I became more involved. And then actually my high school actually had a DJ club, so we started doing their school events, and then we built kind of a name for ourselves, and we did mostly birthday parties and like father-daughter dances, that sort of stuff. And then from there, kind of left the scene for a little bit. And started doing some IT work, and then basically have been working on RequestNow for the last few years, actually.
Very good, very
That's
good.
awesome,
Well, what really, excuse me, what really kind of stemmed the thought process, or how did you end up? How did you guys? Because you have a partner in this as well, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so how did you guys really kind of come up with the concept? What made you think about even doing it in the first place?
Yeah, so like I was saying, you know, him and I had this company and we were DJing. There was kind of like one of these facilities that had like teen nights or that sort of stuff. So we DJ'd that. And obviously a big part of DJing is song requests. You know, they had all these songs they like had to hear, and they'd come up to us and we'd always leave a clipboard. And kind of my job as, you know, also part of sort of being the assistant would be like to keep like moving it and crossing things off, and people would come and scream at you. And we were thinking like there's got to be a better way to take song requests, because like handwriting's messy. Also, a lot of people are timid and really don't want to come to the DJ. I think that like there's definitely an aspect of it. So we started off and we're like, okay, well, I don't want to give my own phone number, because there were always like 80 plus students like always texting. So it's like, like maybe we could use like Google Voice or something like that. So we got this other number and we put it out there, and we actually started getting all these texts. And we were just like, like, that's pretty interesting. And sort of just play off of that.
I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 second here. I'm sorry, just interrupt you real quick. We got Raymond checking in, one of the new users. Raymond PSC out of LA. Yep. So he's one of the new RequestNow users.
Yeah.
Said he loves it, man. So you're already
awesome.
doing good things. Already doing good things. And David checking in from Houston, man. Thank you, David, for checking in. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, man. I really wanted to point that out, because we already got somebody.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
We already got somebody that uses the program that loves it. So go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So anyway, so we were sort of playing with this number thing. And again, so this was actually all in 2012, just to be clear. So this was, you know, several years ago, kind of playing with it. And we like toyed with kind of getting it off the ground. But we just didn't really have any money to kind of get something like this off. So we had kind of a basic version, and we actually went to the DJ Expo in Atlantic City, just kind of, you know, like hung out with other DJs and got more feedback. And then in the back of my head, I was always like, you know, I really want to keep working on this thing. We have the site up. It's not really doing a lot of traction. And then really last year, I had this opportunity where I kind of had some cash to put into it. It's like, okay, I'm going to give this a full shot as an actual business. So we actually committed to that before coronavirus hit, which is kind of ironic, just because coronavirus has just kind of put this on everyone's mind. So I think it's obviously hurt us and, you know, been a horrible thing, but it also has sort of put this on people's radar, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of the story in a nutshell. So it's really sort of launched in like March, basically, like relaunched, I should say.
Yeah.
I can.
That's great.
I can show you for fun. This was kind of our old site that we had. And you can see, so this is kind of the new site we have redone. Oh, you know what? I'm not screen sharing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Give us
No
a
one
screen
saw
share, and
that.
we'll
Yeah.
check that out. Yeah, go ahead and give us
Okay.
a screen share. We'll check it out.
You guys are probably like, what the hell is
No, that's
Nah, you're
okay,
good,
man.
man.
There we go.
Yeah, so this is the old site. So this is the site we kind of had up in 2012, actually. And we got some traction here, but it just wasn't enough to like pay our rent type thing, right? Because we had some people paying, but it's just not enough. And then here's the new site. So hopefully
Nice.
it looks more modern and improved.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great looking site. So essentially, and I'm just gonna kind of say as if like I'm totally clueless and I don't really know
Totally.
what it is from a layman's terms. Basically, it's a software where participants can be at an event, they can access a phone number, and they can send in a request for a song or a shout out or something along those lines. Essentially, that's what we're saying, without having to come up to the DJ and be, in our COVID life that we're living right now, don't have to be all in the DJ's face and things like that. So basically, that's what this is.
That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And an extremely short version, the DJ gets a number. It's not their own number. We have a system that basically processes the song requests. We give DJs a friendly view to look at it, and they can interact with guests. So that was the idea. And yeah, honestly, like we've been just testing it and playing with it for a while.
Interesting. I like it. I like it a lot.
Very good. Man, that's awesome. I can tell you just a real quick anecdotal kind of thing. I've had people that are definitely scared to come up to the DJ because it is a little bit intimidating. So I could totally see that, how it's nice where you can literally just conveniently go get your app, pull it out. I want this song, boom, done. Man, that's sick. So
Totally.
maybe another question I have for you is how should DJs get the number out there?
Yes, that's a good question. And I'd say that's probably like the first barrier to this in terms of having a successful event is like they obviously need to know the number. And it's actually funny. One of the reasons why I think it was hard to get off the ground in 2012 was like QR codes were like not a thing. I'd never heard of them. Phones didn't like read them automatically. There were special apps. So I would say right now the best bet is to create some sort of flyer that has the number on it with some wording around, send requests or send us your favorite song, or we, enjoy song requests. And then you can either just put the number or you can put a QR code. And I think, honestly, just the whole like COVID thing has made QR codes more popular, I guess you could say. So people now
Definitely.
know how to scan it. So I would say use a flyer, or some DJs bring TV screens. I never did that, but if you have like monitor or projector, might as well do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the QR code thing is so much easier now that, whenever I found out that even like with my iPhone, I can literally just use my camera on my iPhone to access a QR code, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So I can see where that would make it a lot easier for people to be able to access the information, and you don't have to necessarily get like a million business cards printed up to pass out and stuff like
Exactly.
that. So, okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, so I got to ask though, why would I not want to use my own phone number or a Google number? I know you kind of you alluded to that earlier, but just maybe I wanted to dive a little deeper onto why we would not want to use those.
Yeah, it's totally fair. I mean, and I think it depends what kind of event, time, and place. I think giving your own phone number, is valid too. I think if you have tons of guests, especially if they're younger and they're used to sending tons of texts, like I wouldn't want my phone blown up at an event. I also don't think it's that professional to be like looking on your phone, especially at, a paid gig. So I'd say that for phone numbers, and then, like a personal phone. And then for Google Voice, I'd love to do a demo and kind of show you how the system works, but we just have a ton more engagement systems than a Google Voice is going to allow. So if you're looking for kind of a system that you don't really have to think too much about and you want to focus on the party, then I think a system like this is going to make sense. But yeah, could I switch over to a demo real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's try that.
Okay. Whoops. So you create an account, you get a number assigned to you in a local area code. I created this test event, but I'll just show you what it's like to make an event. So what should we call the event? We could just say Wednesday night stream. Then you would select the date. So we'll do today, and it's active for 24 hours. So here's the number that is associated in my account. And then there's this notion of this like auto reply text. So whenever someone sends a text in, they're going to get an auto response back. And again, that's really just thinking about like engagement. So it could be like, hope you are enjoying the stream, ask questions. So that can really kind of just be something you kind of want to like repeatedly show. And then this thank you message is pretty cool. So at the end of the night, you send this out. So at the end of the stream, I could send this out. It's like, hope you enjoyed the stream. And then I don't have your website handy. It's Wedding Business Growth.
WeddingBusinessGrowth.com. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good domain. And then you can say view more. So this is kind of your opportunity to like thank people and give out that kind of final message. And I think there's a lot of use cases, right? Like if you want to put your Venmo or your PayPal, if you're like a bar DJ, if you're, at like a more upscale wedding, maybe you want to put the couple's wedding website and not brand yourself. It's really up to the DJ on what they want to do. This thing I wanted to talk about is this notion of a virtual contact card. So it's kind of hard to explain, but like if Nick had a contact he wanted to share with you, Dave, he could on his phone click share, and it sends this like special type of card. It's called a contact card. It just makes exactly. It just makes it easy to get the contact info. So if I click this, it's going to send a contact card to everyone. So that is a place to put your name, your website, your address, your email address, and I don't think it's kind of too salesy. I think it's kind of this nice way that's not flashy, right? That allows people to follow up with you.
That's huge.
Yeah. So that's cool. And I can show you quickly, or actually I can show you guys after how you actually set that up. And then one of the cool things, which we'll see in a second, is this idea of song detection. So if you type a song in, we try to guess the song. We are wrong some of the times, but I think there's just kind of a layer of fun. I know we have one of our customers who's going to come on, and I'll have him talk about it because I think he sees it a little differently than I do. But I think like that could be interesting. And then the guest names too is a way to get the folks' nicknames if you want to be really personalized. And we've had customers who are really interested in getting, like close to guests and stuff. And that's an opportunity to provide your name. But then from there, you could just create this event. And then
it's an easy process already. I can see that's
right. Yeah. Process. And then you can view this link. So this is the most important part. So this is for the DJ only. So you can send this to your assistant, your other DJs, whatever it is. So I think it'd be fun if anyone who's watching the stream just takes out their phone. I'm going to do it too, and just try sending a request. If it is a song request, you should put the word play first, and people on their like flyers will say that. So this is kind of where like, the interaction begins. So if you put in, so I don't know, I keep using like play Get Lucky as an example. So don't put the artist name. So see if the system can figure out the, wow, I knew we'd get tons of WAP.
It wasn't just me, sweet.
No, honestly, I was looking at top requests and I posted on our Instagram. That was like the top one last weekend.
That's hilarious.
Oh, really?
Several things. Yeah, people are.
That's wild.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, it's been pretty funny. So it looks like a few people texted in. So just a few things to call out. So on the right, you can sort of picture this as like threads in iMessage or like rows. So these are individual people. So this is me. So I can see my whole conversation thread like this. So it looks like someone put like Jimmy in. So this is Jimmy. And I can say like, no way, man, or something like that. And you can actually respond back to the guest. So they should just get that as a text.
Oh, wow.
And then on the left, we try to sort the songs by our identification. So you have the songs like this. And then if I'm actually going to play a song, you can click this button, which will inform them that the song is going to come up next. And again, this is really depends how engaged you want to get with guests. Like you don't have to click that, obviously, but that could be fun if like someone told me a bride was like in the bathroom during their song or something, and they like came like running out or something. And you can see the names above if they provide it. If they don't, it's guests. So you can see like 2 people requested this.
That's actually you bring up a good point, because how many times have we been at events where you know, as the DJ, you know, somebody makes a request of you, and then you find the right time in the mix to play it. And of course, you pick the one time that they're in the bathroom or they're,
Yeah.
you know, in a different part of the building or even outside or whatever. And then they come back and like, oh, I want to hear my song.
Yeah.
You're like, I literally just played it 2 seconds ago. Oh, I was outside. Can you play it again? Can you play it
Nope.
again? So this is like super cool in the sense
Yeah.
that at least now they're getting a little bit of a heads up, like, yo, your song's getting ready to come on, so make sure your ass is on the dance floor or whatever, you know?
Dude, that's incredible.
Yep, exactly.
It's such a it's really neat technology, man. I mean, this what you got here is pretty cool. So I mean, one thing I saw there was a new feature next to it said new next to the video card. Is that like a new thing that you have?
Yeah, so that was the contact card thing.
Right.
So basically what you do is in settings, you end the event. So this would be at the end of the event. I can do that in a second. I wish there was a way I could like show my phone up here. Not actually sure if there's a way to do that.
Are there any like upgrades and like enhancements or anything you can do to for this or?
You mean so like in terms of all the features? So you can do the guest names. The raffles one actually. So this again is probably not going to be used at like a wedding, but I've just been to events where like they want to give away like a bar mitzvah or something. They want to give away something, so you can click this and it just picks someone randomly. So these are the last 4 digits. Honestly, a really clever way to get more people to text in is to get on the mic and be like, hey, I've got, you know, a $15 iTunes gift card. Everyone text me your favorite song. It's just a great way to get everyone on the system, and then you can raffle that out. And again, it's a time and place thing, right? Like probably at a wedding, you probably don't want to do that. But if you're doing like a school dance, this is like the perfect thing to just get everyone involved. But you know what? If I could just share my full screen, I pulled up the text window. So let me just do that. Yeah, so now you can kind of see what it's like. And you can also say non-songs. I can be like, play, you know, like I want to hear more Michael Jackson or something like that. And then because you didn't use play, we show it as a message.
Gotcha.
So I just want to point out. But in terms of plans, we just include everything. We're not, I don't think we want to like nickel and dime people. Like we've just been including the contact card, the name feature, kind of just everything we build. We'll just give to everyone.
Okay.
And
well, I'll tell you one thing that I'm thinking in my head right now. Like, first of all, I think every DJ should have this. Personally, I think every DJ should have this because of the simplicity of it, because of the functionality of it, because of the interaction of it. It's all on your computer already. So as long as you're connected to the internet somehow, you're going to have access to the information. Right now, Matt, just while I'm on that point, what if I'm not connected to the internet? Do I have an option if that's the case?
So that is a great question. So all you need is cell service. You do need cell service. Okay. So if you can't view this on a computer, what you can do is it is like mobile optimized. You can just view this on your cell phone. And all the features are the same. If I like shrink it, you kind of see it's a little harder to read. Some people bring, you know, an iPad that has cell service. I have been talking to DJs that are doing a lot of like barn weddings, and that we haven't figured out yet. So I don't know what to do there. But if you do have just even a little cell service, this does work kind of well. Let me just show you what it's like to end the event. So if the event's over, you click this, and then it shows you what the thank you message is going to be. And then now we should all get that thank you message. So it says, hope you enjoyed the stream, view more info here. Yep. And then the coolest part, I think, is that contact card. So that contact card should have came in. And then this is like programmed. So now they can, you know, save it or whatever they want, and then they can come back at a later date.
That's amazing.
That is incredible. Yeah. So my point that I was getting to is that if DJs don't utilize this, I could see this being an upsell for a wedding planner, like almost anybody who's going to be at the event, like not maybe necessarily somebody that has a, you know, that has a cake that they're setting up or whatever, but somebody who's going to be at the event. This would be a great upsell if the DJ is silly enough to not do it himself and then you could just sit there and just befriend the DJ and just be like, hey, listen, I got a few requests. Here's a list. You mind, hell, I'd just be like, yo, the bride told me a few songs that she may have forgotten to tell you. Here they are. And then I'd just be waiting to hear them damn songs come on and hit that thing on a screen every time the DJ played.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think it's a great upsell, especially at like a birthday party or any of those kind of things where you probably don't want to brand, or like it doesn't make sense to brand yourself. It's just kind of like an added fun. It probably makes sense. But yeah, no, I do think there's a time and a place. I think when we started talking about this, especially in 2012, the biggest sort of thing I would get is like, I hate song requests, or people would like laugh at it. And it's like, listen, I don't want to get into a debate whether you're going to like song requests or not. This is a way to engage with people. You don't have to play the song. That's I should almost put that on the website. Like, you're not agreeing to play the song. Yeah. So I feel like people just don't get that. Yeah, so I think it's valuable.
Well, and I think you hit some really good points earlier about the fact that, Nick even mentioned it, where there's a lot of people that are just shy and they don't, even, let's just say, forget COVID. Like, let's just pretend like COVID doesn't even exist right now. People are still shy, to come up to the DJ and ask for a request, or, and on the flip side, any of us that have been DJs long enough know that there are some people that are just incredibly annoying that ask for too many requests. Yep. And, I'd rather that drunk person that doesn't even remember their name, but still wants to make a request. I'd rather they try to figure out how to do it on their phone than stand there and talk to me for 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Not that I don't mind taking requests, because I love interacting with people and I love that whole aspect of the event. I'm just going to unshare the screen here for just a second. I love that whole aspect of the event, but this is just a great way to kind of circumvent some of that stuff. But most importantly, we all have been guilty of this. People come up to us, they ask us for a card, or we go up, we ask people for cards. Yep. We take their card, we put it in our pocket, especially if if we're wearing a suit or something like that. We hang our suit up, and then we forget totally about that card until we take our suit to the cleaners, or we just take everything out of our pockets and we throw it away. This is going to guarantee that they are going to not lose your contact information. I think that's incredible.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things I say is like, I don't know, I throw business cards out all the time. So I think it's nice that they have this saved in their phone. Also, another point to bring up, and I think the guests are going to have on, is one of the people who sort of like brought it up, but when things return back to normal and you do like any type of school event, it's really not ideal to have students sort of like texting your number, just from like a liability standpoint. Yeah. So what's nice about this is it sort of is like Uber, where like it like masks the number. So the DJ does not, get any information. So we have a privacy policy on our website. You can send it to the school, and it's like this system, there's no way to get in contact. Like when that event ends, you can't text anyone. And when you make a new event, like all the old numbers are thrown out. So I just want to call that out just from like a safety perspective, because I think that's something that has come up when people are using like Google Voice, for example.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point, actually, the safety and security of it. And when you are dealing with schools and kids and things like that, that extra layer of protection is great. And, still being able to communicate back and forth while they're at the event, but it's almost like a credit card transaction that we never get your credit card fee, but we're still able to have this transaction with each other. Or I don't mean fee, sorry, credit card number and all of that stuff, and everything stays safe and secure. Well, speaking of a user, we're going to bring on Young right now, because I promised that we were not going to wait too long to bring him on, because I know he's got something going on a little bit later on. But Young Cho out of California, this is Matt, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of your very first users of the service.
Yeah.
So Young, thank
absolutely.
you. Thank you, Young, for joining us. And there's nothing better. I think the only thing better than the owner of a service talking about it would be a person who is actually using the service and just sharing kind of your thoughts and your experiences with it, and just kind of tell everybody what you want to say about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Once again, my name is Young. I'm a DJ from the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been just a quick background about myself. I've been DJing since 1987. Yeah, don't let the looks fool you.
I was gonna say, you don't even look old enough, man.
Wait a minute. You started DJing when you're 5? No. it's
You're not
it's the
kidding.
wonderful Asian genes that I have. So yeah, I started DJing in '87, started doing it professionally roughly around '95 or so, and I did the whole mobile. I started as a mobile DJ, like most Bay Area DJs do here, and then from there I went into the club circuit and did radio, and now I've kind of gone back into the mobile. So now I do specifically weddings and corporate events. I did a full circle in my DJ career here, but yeah, I've been using RequestNow for over a year now, and to be honest, I don't remember how I hooked up with Matt, but I just found out about RequestNow, and I said, this is exactly what I need, because dealing with requests is a normal thing for me as a DJ. Even whether I'm doing clubs or whether I'm doing mobile events, I get song requests all the time. So I'm like, there's got to be an easier way. And for quite a while, I was kind of looking for something like, there's got to be a way where they can tell me the song request, but they don't have to come up to me and ask me and bother me throughout the night. And it's just real simple and streamlined. And then that's how I discovered RequestNow. So yeah, I've been using it for over a year. I've been using it for all different types of events. I've done it for weddings, corporate, high school, middle school events. Those are like kind of the gist of what my company does. So the majority of our events are those types of events. So I've used it pretty much for all different settings and see where it kind of works and when it doesn't work. And it works beautifully on any kind of setting, really. Especially I would say for middle school and high schools. I'm sure you guys have experienced those kids. They love making song requests. Like that's all they want to do. They do this, and then they send you 15,000 song requests, but they don't really dance. They just kind of, especially middle school, they just kind of stand around. But they're like, hey, can you play this? Can you play that? Can you play this? And so my son, who's 16, he picked up DJing about 2 years ago. So he started taking over some of the high school and middle school events for our company. So he uses it. And he's kind of more of a soft-spoken. He's not really an MC type of DJ. He's very kind of shy, soft-spoken guy. So he, for him, it's really comfortable for him for people to just basically punch in the number and send the song request directly to him without having to interact with the people, with the kids. So yeah, so he loves it. He's used it for his own high school events, for a few middle school events around here. He's used it for, and I like it because, well, significantly right now, it's playing a huge role with the whole, a social distancing thing. So I know I spoke to Matt. I'm like, this is the time where your product needs to be going out to every DJ out there. And I just did my first wedding about 3 weeks ago, I guess, after the pandemic hit us. So in California, here in the Bay Area, they don't allow dancing anymore.
Wow.
For now, yeah. It's basically, if you're going to DJ a wedding, maximum capacity is 50. It's got to be outdoors, no dancing. You can play dinner music, you can play background music, but nothing else. So we're pretty much an iPod, basically that's what it comes down to. But I still wanted to make it so that I'm able to let the guests know, hey, even though you guys can't dance, you guys can make song requests, you guys still have fun. So I've been using it. And so I used it for the first time, I guess, during the pandemic a few weeks ago, and it worked great. I told people, I said, hey, I know we can't dance, but text your song requests into this number, and people were doing it because they want still, even though they can't dance, they were still sending those song requests, and it works out really well. So and like kind of Matt said, I think the biggest part why I like this so much is that it allows people to make as many song requests as they want. It's on a phone number that never hits my cell phone. That's the biggest misconception. I think a lot of DJs, I tell them about this product, they're like, oh, I don't want everyone to be blowing up my cell phone. I'm like, no. It doesn't even go to your cell phone. It goes to your computer. Like that's the whole entire time. So when I'm DJing, I use Serato. I'm switching back and forth between Serato and the RequestNow site, and I'm pulling songs off of, okay, what should I play? Okay, I'm going to play that one next, And the beauty of the recent upgrade that Matt did to is being able to allow people to punch in their names. So if Susie requests, whatever song they want, I can say, yo, Susie, your song's coming up next. Where you at? And
that's
huge.
Like,
oh, right here, right?
Yeah.
That's huge. That's another level of interaction, right?
It is, right?
Huge.
It's a huge interaction thing. So, and I'm very interactive with no matter whether I do a club, whether I do a corporate event, whether I do a wedding, I'm super interactive with the audience. I'm always like, keeping them hyped, talking to them. But that's, as you mentioned earlier, like some people go to the bathroom and they come back. Well, where's my song? I just played it for you. So this kind of prevents that from happening. You let them know, hey, Susie, your song's coming up next. You better get ready. And they're like, oh, they're jumping around. So that's really helpful too. But yeah, I think the beauty of it is just that it's just so streamlined. It's a simple process where it's one less thing for you to have to worry. So you can focus on what you do best, as is DJing. You don't have to worry about somebody coming up right in between the middle of a transition. They're like, hey, can you play Uptown Funk? You're like, yeah. Okay. Right. It doesn't happen anymore. They just basically text all the song requests. And the way I've been letting people know about the song, about the number, is I will jump right in the middle of the dance floor before the dancing starts, and I'll just walk around the room. And I got my iPad here. I just show my iPad and I walk around and I go here, and I walk around and let everyone see it. They'll start busting out their cell phone cameras, and sometimes I'll even tell them, say, everyone pull out your camera. Everyone pull out your cell phone camera. Everyone pulls them out. I'm like, I want you guys all to take a picture of this. Take a picture of this, and they're literally doing this. And I'm walking around the room, and they're taking photos of it, right? So that's one method I've been using. Just recently, I just started putting up a little plastic placard thing up by my DJ booth. Also, people walk up, they love the QR code. This is a new upgrade that I think Matt just recently started doing with the QR scan. So they just started doing that. They love that. They can scan it with their phone. So I just started doing this on the first wedding I did. And it worked great. They were just walking up. They weren't bothering me. They would just take a picture of it. And I made an announcement. I say, hey, if you want to make song requests, text your number to this, text your song request to this. And they would walk up to the booth and they would take pictures of it. But it streamlines everything. It's kind of, and it allows us to interact with the guests in a sense of like, you can write a message back to their phone, or you can jump on the mic and say, hey, John, I got your song coming up, don't go anywhere. Or let's say I make it kind of fun. So if somebody comes up with kind of an odd song request, but it's kind of cool, but it's kind of corny, but it's funny at the same time, I'll be like, all right, John, who's John? Where's John? I'll stop the music. And then they'll be like, John will be like, I'm like, okay, I got your YMCA coming up in just a bit. And people are just like laughing at them, but they have a good time with it, right? It's a fun time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I kind of make it fun. I make it interactive. And then the other big tool, again, I always explain to all the DJs, it's more than just a song requesting service. It's also a strong marketing tool. So I've actually gotten inquiries from this because
that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I want to ask you, is how many, if you had to put a number on it. And before you answer this question, if you don't mind, I just want to jump onto a couple of comments here. Sure. First of all, we want to thank Lincoln for checking in with us tonight. Thank you, Lincoln, for jumping on. He said he wanted to find out more about RequestNow. So this is the best people to be listening to right now, Lincoln. We've got one of the co-founders, along with one of the first adopters of the program, on with us right now talking about it. We also have another comment here from David saying, in Texas, all venues are limited to 50% capacity, maximum attendance, no restrictions on the dance floor, which is great. We've done about 40 weddings since COVID. Congratulations on that, man. Brother. And then also this product is very exciting. Yeah. So David, definitely, if you're not using RequestNow, Matt's the guy to talk to about it, and he can get you all hooked up. And by the way, for everybody else that is watching, if you have a comment, if you have a question, please drop them in there for either Young or for Matt. We've got Young only for a few more minutes. You can probably see by his setup behind him that he's got a live stream to jump on here pretty soon, and we'll let him tell us a little bit more about that too. And Lincoln checking in from Hawaii. Wow, man, I'm jealous.
Aloha.
I'm jealous, man. I want to go. I want to go to Hawaii, man. So anyways, Young, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to catch those comments while they came in. So yeah, the question, like, could you maybe put a number or an approximate on how many times you've really kind of gotten something after the fact, somebody just check in and saying, hey, I was at an event that you did and I'd love to chat with you?
I've gotten 2 bookings out of it. I've gotten 8 or 9 inquiries from it. And some people, they'll just reply back because I send them a thank you note at the end of the night. So the way it works is that once the event's over, I send just kind of a text blast to everybody. Say, hey, thanks for, hope you had a good time at John and Susie's wedding. Get home safe. And then I'll put my website right underneath there. So they usually go to my website right away and they see my videos, they see all my information, they see my email, and they'll say, hey, I was at John and Susie's wedding the other night, and I wanted to get some information about your services. I'm getting married in whatever next year, whatever. So I've gotten two bookings from it, and I've gotten probably about 9 or 10 responses. So I'll send somebody a message that night, usually like within a matter of 15 minutes, just click of a button. That's the beauty of it. You click a button and then that message just gets blasted out to everybody. And people will respond back and they'll say, man, you did a great job. You killed it. Thank you so much. So I know that they're getting it. And yeah, it's a super strong marketing tool. It's just, like you said, it's better than just like a business card because it's on their phone, and they'll be like, oh, cool, like we're getting married in a year, and they're just gonna save it on their phone. And then when they're ready to book or start shopping around for a DJ, that's where they look up the phone and go, oh, okay, Twin Spin, let's give them a call. Let's check them out. So yeah, I've been working with using the service for quite a while. And when I first started it, I was kind of giving Matt some suggestions based on my experience, like how can you guys can help improve the service a little bit. And he's taken a lot of my suggestions and he's ran with them. So it's a beautiful thing. I know one thing he did mention earlier about the song ID thing. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. Just because,
which is fair. I actually wanted you to talk about that.
Yeah. So one of the features that Matt mentioned, it's got a song ID service. So basically, if you type in Uptown Funk, it'll respond back to the guest saying, "Thanks for your request. We'll play Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars." Well, sometimes the response is incorrect. So it'll be a name of a song, but maybe the wrong artists. So I was telling Matt that I personally don't like that service because if it responds back with, let's say, the right song, but the wrong artist, but we know as DJs, we know what song they're asking for, but that song ID service doesn't ID it correctly, and it sends that message back to the guest. They're gonna think like, oh no, that's not the song I want. I want this song by this song. But we know, like Uptown Funk, we know it's Bruno Mars. But let me say like Uptown Funk by so and so artist, and they're like, no, that's not it. So I've had times where they come back to go, I got your text, but that's not the song I want. I'm like, no, I know what song you want. Just it's the idea.
Now, is that an optional feature? Does that have to be on, or can you toggle that off?
So actually, like, credit where credit is due is all thanks to Young here. So we made that a switchable thing, so you can like turn it on or off. I will say one thing, which is it definitely has gotten better, but like so many songs have the same name. Right. And we actually use Spotify on our backend system to basically compare it. And Spotify like tells us the more popular ones, but like sometimes people want the older one, right? And we do show you the original as well. So you do, as the DJ, know what they want, right? If it's some crazy song, it's probably not right. But yeah, for some DJs, it's not for them and they turn it off. And I think that's totally fine. You're only missing out if it's right on a little kind of a fun experience. But I would say if you're a new customer, maybe give it a shot, see how you like it. But yeah, I think it's totally.
I think everyone's a little different. I think some DJs like it, some don't. I just prefer not to have it just because sometimes they think like, oh, this DJ doesn't know what I'm talking about. It's the wrong song. And it's like, no, I know what song you're talking about. It's just the IDs wrong. That's why I get it. So, so that's one of the suggestions I gave to Matt. I said, is there a way you can turn that off? And he added that on too. So yeah, he kind of took a lot of my ideas and just a way to improve it. And he took it and ran with it. And it's a really, really great product. And I've been turning all the DJs in the Bay Area onto it too. And I always tell everybody, it's not for everyone. There's those DJs out there who are like, I don't do a song request. No way. No, I don't do that. No, or they'll automatically say, I don't want them to blow up my phone. And we know it doesn't blow up your phone. So it's not made for everyone. Like, honestly, it's probably maybe not made for like every bar situation, club situation. But if you're talking about corporate events, private events, where they expect you to take your song request, you better take their song request because this is why we hired you. It's great. It'll fits right in. It works great. It streamlines it and makes your job easier as a DJ. So,
well, and I think you brought up a good point too about you being able to give suggestions to Matt and them being able to take those suggestions, look at the great ones and implement the ones that make sense, maybe kind of hash out the ones that maybe don't make as much sense. And for anybody that's, a new user that's thinking about a product that they want to try out, I mean, that's great. That's a great testimonial for the company itself to know that you, a user, are able to go to the owner and say, hey, listen, I'd really love if X. And X may be something that won't be able to work for everybody, but it could very well work for for a lot of the users. If not, Lincoln says, I've been searching for the longest for people to send a text message for requests, whether it's through streaming or when we go back to the clubs. Well, Lincoln, look no further. I think you found what you're looking for, man.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Is Matt took so many of my ideas and he just implemented it. He ran with it. So that's what I love about this company is that they listen to the DJs. They know like what we need or how to improve the product, which is great because they just want to be able to deliver a better service for all of us, that's awesome. So so when I started giving him some ideas, I was like, okay, let's see if he's really going to do these ideas. And I'm like, holy smokes, he's changed. Like, wow. So
it did take time, to be fair.
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah, it takes
Like,
time, but
it's not overnight.
definitely.
It took me some time, but
Yeah, but you did it, you know,
yeah.
and that's why I was like, this is such a like it was a good product already, but now it's like, oh my god, it's amazing. So yeah, he took a lot of my ideas, and that's what's good about it. You know, he's willing to listen to everybody to try to improve that product and make it optimum for every DJ that's out there and every type of DJ that's out there. So you know, there's a mobile DJs, and I still think you can use this in a bar setting. It's just going to depend on what type of bar, what type of setting it is. You know, if it's more of a chill type of setting, I think definitely it'll work for sure. Yeah,
I know for sure we could have definitely used that at Wow Wing Cafe because
Yep,
the way this place was oriented, real quick, if I could get a story in, Wow Wing Cafe is oriented where the bar is on all the way on the opposite side, and then you're in the stage is on the restaurant side. So you have to walk like a solid way away from the bar. It would have been amazing if people that come in, you plant it right on the bar, you text them up, you say, hey, if you want a song, boom, here it is. You don't have to get up and you don't have to walk across the place. Would have been super awesome. So yeah, that's really cool. But you know, I know you got to get going. Do you want to plug your live stream real quick before you head off?
Yeah, no, I'm like majority of the DJs across the nation right now are kind of sort of unemployed because of the pandemic. Right. So you guys probably know this. Maybe you don't know this, but this will probably be a whole different stream. If you guys want to talk about it, let me know. I stream on Twitch about 5 days a week. I do about 2 to 3 hour sets per day. And yeah, I'm streaming live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays. You can just go to Twitch, look up, search DJ Twin Spin, and you can follow me on my Twitch page. So yeah, I'm doing a 5 o'clock stream today. Every day is a little different genre of music, but as you see this green screen, people somehow know me as a visual. They call me the visual nerd or the visual god because I'm a big overlay visual guy. So yeah, you can come check out one of my streams. I'll be on here in a few, and you'll see my backgrounds are pretty creative. They're different. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
definitely gonna check it out. Man.
Go to Twitch and DJTwinspin.com. That's where pretty much all the DJs are at nowadays. Everyone's a Twitch DJ. So
yeah, man. Well,
yeah.
Appreciate you being on here, man.
Absolutely, fun, man. It's my honor.
Appreciate you joining us, Young. Thank you for sharing that information. And just for everybody who's watching, he is in the California area, so 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. Pacific, depending on where you might be. It could be a different time, but 5 p.m. Pacific for that. And hey, man, thanks a lot. We're gonna let you go because I know you got to get ready for that.
Hey, absolutely, no problem. Salute to you guys.
I'm gonna jump on and check you out. If you're gonna be on for a couple hours, I'm gonna jump on and check you out whenever we get done with this.
Yeah, I'll be on. Today is my classic hip hop and R&B, what I call classic hip hop R&B hump day. So it's all the golden era hip hop and R&B from the 90s and 80s and 90s. So it's a blast. It's really fun. It's an interactive thing. If you're a DJ and you're not on Twitch, get on Twitch. Trust me. It's a whole new world. We'll talk about that later. That'll be a whole different subject.
Yeah, we'll get you on and we'll let you slide so you can get all set up and ready for everything.
All right, salute to you guys. Thanks.
Have a good night. Thanks, bud.
Take care.
Thank you. So Matt, I want to bring this comment up. I wanted to give Young a chance to finish up there.
Yeah. Totally.
So I think we were kind of we're talking a little bit of the assumption of single op operators. David, I'm assuming is clearly a multi-op operator. There's a lot of those guys out there too. So maybe just touch on a little bit about how the service works for multi-ops, if you would.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So it essentially works the same, but we just give that account multiple numbers. So we have a few people who have like 4 numbers, maybe 5 or 6 numbers, and then you just use 1 number at each event, if that makes sense. So you would just need to kind of, in my mind, if the DJ is more full-time, I would just do 1 number per DJ. It's the easiest way to do it. And then they have their own kind of poster and flyer. And yeah, it's really the same. It works the same.
From a pricing standpoint, is there any kind of a cost break or like a bundle break maybe for multiple numbers or anything?
Yeah. No, I was worried. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was wondering if someone was going to ask about pricing, but yeah, essentially, yeah, like exactly. We'll just kind of bundle it together. Pricing has been hard just because of the virus. People still just have an event here and there. So we've just been making it work for people. Okay. No, I think that's great. And one of the things when I was listening to Young, what was really interesting is when he was talking about his son, and I think a lot of mobile DJs are not necessarily
introverted or I mean, I'm an introvert by heart, but when it's time for me to work, I do what I do. But, there actually are a lot of DJs that have very introverted personalities. So even in that regard, like he was saying about his son, even in that regard, I think this is a very beneficial program for the DJ and, not just the end client, but for the DJ as well.
Totally. Exactly. I think it helps both people, right? Like, also if you're like newish, like, I don't know, it took me a while to get good DJing. I couldn't handle like talking to, someone like talking to you and, like queuing up. I always had this anxiety, like the worst thing that could happen to a DJ is you don't have the next song queued up. And like, I don't know, it was hard for me to, like balance everything. So this is kind of nice because it's not instant. You don't have to look every 6 seconds. Like you can look every 15 minutes or like whenever you have that break, right?
Yep.
Lincoln's
so Lincoln is asking if we can add him on Facebook. Yeah, man. Hey, Lincoln, send all of us a request and we'll add you on. We probably should have put our last names on here so you can know how to look us up on Facebook or social media or wherever. So I'm going to just take a quick second and I'm going to do that. If you want to do the same thing, maybe just change your display name to show your last names. That way they can look us up. And also, Lincoln, you can always go to just look up RequestNow. It's all one word. If you look that up on Facebook, you'll be able to find the Facebook page and everything about that. So Lincoln did actually jump into pricing as well, and then also asked about an app. So let's just maybe, just kind of a general idea. Obviously, I think you guys have really been, like you mentioned, trying to work with everybody for the best situation for them, but just as a general idea, maybe some pricing, and then maybe touch on the app process as well.
Yeah, totally. So pricing is hard, as I said. Like, I think we want to offer unlimited plans just so you don't have to think about it. It's just that's really hard right now because people don't have their normal event load. So I don't want a situation in which people are kind of overpaying, or the opposite, we're like losing money. So we're a little different in that we have costs because we got to pay for the phone number and the text message like through our carrier. So this isn't the traditional web app where it's like Facebook and the cost, or I guess that's free, but I think you know what I mean. Like a Netflix, for example. So you can either pay per event, and it's $13 for one event, or we have a plan for solo operators that can basically pay and they get 3 events a month. Or if you're a multi-op, we're basically just going to charge you per event, and it's a lower rate than the $13 depending on your event load. But some people say like it is expensive. At the end of the day, though, we just have to cover our costs of like, you do get a new phone number, so we have to pay monthly for that. And I think the best way to look at pricing is if you just kind of increase your word of mouth and you get more bookings, or you get more people talking, or you just provide a fun experience, it's worth that like $8, $9, $10 per event. So that's kind of my thinking there.
Well, and I think it's easy. Excuse me, I'm talking fast. I'm thinking faster than I'm talking. I think it's even an easy sell as an upsell, especially right now. If you just mention to the couples that you're working with, or the corporate clients that you're working with, or whatever, hey, we've got this really cool service. I know with COVID going on right now, we're all trying to do our best to keep socially distanced, but we still want to be in contact with your guests at your event. It's not that expensive. For $25, we can add this on, and if nothing else, you've at least covered the cost. Even if you do it on a single event price, it's not something where you want to charge $100 and try to really capitalize off of the service. But even if you cover your costs and you make a couple extra scratch, I mean, not too many people are going to say no to a little $25 add-on, which is something that's going to be perceivably looked at. And it is. It's not just, you're not like, blowing smoke up people's ass, but like literally it is an option to make that interaction still be able to happen, but also still stay socially distanced.
And imagine this. If I could just a little extra thought here. Imagine if you're young and you book an event off of this service, like someone books it because of this service, that you just paid for it for probably the year. I mean, if not more. So I think it's a no-brainer. So
that's what I was telling people. If we connect you to just one person, and I think, the couples these days, like millennials, are going to book events on text message. That's just the reality. Or even through Instagram, I've heard people are booking or whatnot. So it's like, you got to get up to date on these current platforms. So yeah, if you get one booking, that should pay for the whole year.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and a lot more. And yeah, I don't know how much time we have. I wanted to talk about kind of another upcharge scenario. I think I mentioned the photo thing. I don't know if we have time for that, but
yeah, we got plenty of time. We'll keep going. I just want to definitely want to address these these questions. So Lincoln is asking, would two numbers be useful to separate the club to the mobile side or request, or just keep to one? So basically it's one number per event, if I'm not mistaken, right? So you don't carry the number over and over and over. Is that correct?
No. So you do get the same number in your account, and that's on purpose because we want people to print flyers or whatnot. So
gotcha.
I would say to that question that you wouldn't need two numbers. You do make an event in our system per event, and that's because we think every event should be tailored to that client. So you should, say, hope you're enjoying their wedding, or, you should use names. So you'd only need one number.
And then once you end, and then like I think you mentioned earlier, so basically once you end that event, all communication that transpires within that event is basically over with. Like you can't go back 2 weeks later and go to that event and say, hey, blah, 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 whatever it is you wanted to say, correct?
So the way it works is if you text outside of the event, we have this thing called like an away message, and it will just be like, to contact this DJ, here's their like office line. Yeah, exactly. So something like that. So yeah.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
So so you alluded to it. I was kind of holding off, and I think I think it's a perfect. I think it's a perfect time to jump into this. I definitely wanted to ask you about. You offline told me a little bit about this, the next big feature coming up with it, and earlier I was mentioning about how this service can transcend beyond just DJs. I know a lot of what we've talked about right now has been about the DJ and the interaction with the DJ. And for those of you that are watching and sticking around with us, thank you very much, especially if you're not a DJ, because I think this next feature is something that could really, really be cool, again, for anybody. I mean, I said earlier, like if the DJ at your event, if you're a wedding planner, or if you're even a photographer, videographer, whatever, if the DJs at your event are not offering this, I'd be offering this damn thing if they're not, like seriously. But this feature is going to kind of seal the deal, I think, with why I'm saying that. So Matt, I'm giving it to you. Tell us about it.
Okay. I hope I don't screw it up. Okay, so essentially the idea is what we're calling photo memories. So guests can send text messages of photos from the night. So you basically send photos from the night into this text line, and it's the same number. So it's just giving more purpose to that number beyond text messaging. And I'll just give a really quick story, but I went to a wedding last year in California, actually, and after the event, the bride was sending me emails, and all these guests, emails asking, hey, did you take any photos? We'd love to kind of see them. And they did hire a photographer, so I don't think it's a replacement. But the idea is just to kind of send those like candid photos. So in her email, she sent like an iCloud link. And that was just a pain, right, to like coordinate all that. So I was thinking, I just naturally took some photos of people being drunk and silly and whatnot. So I think it'd be cool if people could send like 4 photos or 5 photos into this number, and then our system will just make an album, and then you can send that to actually everyone who texted in. It doesn't only need to go to the bride and groom. I think everyone can have fun with that. And the reason why I also think, well, I guess there's 2 reasons it's good for the DJ or the photographer or really whoever is. One is it's a great upsell opportunity. So you could totally, in meetings say we offer this for $100, $50. I know it's gonna be hard to find that price point maybe. So I think 1, it's an upsell, and 2, it's another opportunity to really give a final kind of like, hey, here's my DJ information. So let's say the event was Saturday. You could send that information on like Wednesday to everyone at the party, being like, here's the album, and like, by the way, I'm DJ Matt or whatever it is. So it's just like that final kind of message follow up. Like, I think it's a good excuse to do it 3 days later, if that makes sense.
That's awesome.
It's an awesome feature. I mean, anyone can be offering that, which is really cool. And
totally.
I love you have the opportunity to give out your information in the form of that card. I mean, the fact that it's right there and I click on it and I see your stuff and that's it, man, that's absolutely incredible. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I think probably like at younger weddings will make sense. I don't know if my grandparents or people are going to be texting in photos, but
Yeah.
you know, if you get 40 photos, I think it's still cool to just see, because you're so stressed. You know, well, I haven't been married, but you know, you're running around and stuff. So I imagine you're not thinking about photos. So it's kind of cool to be on your honeymoon or wherever you are and like, oh, that was a fun event.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I'll be honest with you, man. As much as you mentioned, you know, whether or not the grandparents or whatever will be, you know, be texting in photos. I'll tell you, I when we first started doing the digital photo booths and like the texting photo booths versus the print photo booths and all that stuff, I kind of felt the same way. Like, I don't know, you know, maybe the maybe the older generation, if you will, the older at heart generation, if you will, may not, you know, gravitate to this so much. But to be honest with you, they're the ones that seem like they have the most fun with it. Like, they just think it's the coolest thing, the neatest thing. And maybe it's just because of, you know, the technology aspect of it and something new and innovative to them. So I think you'd be surprised that, you know, that more probably will. Lincoln, man, thank you so much for checking in with us. This is awesome
Appreciate
to hear,
it, man.
especially it helps build your profile on social media and personal website for DJing too. Yeah, so definitely good ways of doing that as well.
Yeah, I also pulled up the screen. I don't know if you want to share real quick, but this is what a DJ would put in like a plastic. So, you know, if it's an upscale wedding, I would probably buy a picture frame, spend $20 on it, and you put this at like the welcome table where people get their name cards. And what's cool is it's the same number for song requests, right? So you don't have to kind of advertise all this stuff. So the idea is people scan it with their phone. You can start sending photos right off the bat. And then at the end of the night in that thank you message, we will send a reminder saying, hey, just send us your 4 favorite photos on the way out. But, you know, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, right? It's like there's no investment basically. And one DJ was like, well, I also do photo booth. And I was like, this is still totally different. Like,
yeah.
This is the photos at the table. This is the photos at the reception, you know. So things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I would, you know, that I just, like, you know, some people were concerned about our photo booth going to replace photographers. Absolutely not. A photo booth is never going to replace a photographer. A photographer is to capture the memories, to capture the beauty of the event, to capture those amazing shots. That, let's be honest, a photo booth is really kind of more of a shot ski, just a fun. You get in there, you have a little fun. You know, you goof off, and then you have a little keepsake with you. And this, again, would be just that next layer of, you know, for example, a photo booth is not going to be able to capture a photo that happens on the dance floor, you know, potentially, depending on where it's located or whatever. A photo booth is going to serve a completely different purpose. So to me, this is that, like you said, those candid shots, those, you know, this is taking, instead of one person in the room with a camera and a second person in the room with a photo booth, this is now saying we've got 20 people, 50 people, 100 people in the room, all with cameras, who potentially will get images and photos of this event that are just those candid, fun things you can look back and laugh on. And, you know, on your honeymoon, it's really quick to just jump on and grab and check them out. Or for a corporate event, they can put together a nice little kind of, you know, after the event kind of piece, utilizing the photos and things like that. So I think it's awesome. I think it's completely awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. David here says we had a mobile app that allowed guests to send pictures and song requests, but it was real hard getting them download free app. This appears much easier and less intrusive to the guest. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, David, I think you bring up a very good point. This is something that I know a lot of guys that and girls, excuse me, you know, there's a lot of people that have been dealing with this COVID situation where we've had to take a lot of our services online into a virtual setting. And that barrier is always when you are asking people to do these so many steps, like go to the app store, download this app, put in this information, blah, 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 blah. When this is something where they don't have to do any of that. They take their phone out, they scan, they text, they're done. Boom. They don't have to download anything onto their phone. They're not you're not having to worry about offend those people that are, you know, app Nazis that only want to have the apps that they absolutely want and nothing else. Like, you don't have to worry about any of those people. So I think that's absolutely amazing. Lincoln, who would I speak to share to my colleagues down here about this wonderful program? Well, you got the guy right here. You got Matt right here. So definitely, I definitely, right above me here. I definitely recommend this name right here. Go to that name on Facebook, say add me because I want to use your app, and he'll hook you up. We have another question here. Will the broadcast be available for viewing later? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry you have to go, but we appreciate you being on board with us, and it'll definitely be up when we're done. You'll be able to watch the recap of that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Matt, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm just curious. Do you have any examples of what is it like a online gallery, or what is the end product look like?
No. That is a really good question. Let me unshare my screen for a second and pull that up real quick. And I actually wanted to add one thing on to David's point, which is I have gotten, especially in the beginning of this, is like, why isn't this an app? Why isn't this an iOS app? And the truth is, I asked myself, if I went to a wedding or one of these parties, I really wouldn't download an app and sign up just to send a song request. Like, I don't know. I just wouldn't do it. I'm like, trying to delete apps off my phone. So exactly. I would send a quick text message and, just be done with it. So that's, I think, the beauty. And I think when you think about our cost being, more than, some of these free apps, which is because it is over SMS, and that is more expensive to do because there are costs on our end, but you get the beauty of being able to ping them. I actually found this statistic online. I don't know if it's true, but it said 90% of text messages are opened up within 3 minutes. And I was like, wow, damn, we got to tell people that, because when you send the thank you message, everyone's probably going to actually see it. First, the business card. Anyway, so the photo album is still in development. So it's a little, so it's not the final product, but give everyone here kind of a sneak peek.
Well, and keeping in mind, obviously, this is a brand new service that you guys, just an enhancement that you guys are adding. So absolutely understandable that it's still going to be tweaked and kind of worked through. And I mean, the beauty of it, and as a user, that's what you should be really excited about, is this is being added at no extra charge to you as a user. This is just another enhancement to to what's already a phenomenal service.
Definitely. Yeah, I will say one thing, just because I want to be totally truthful. Everything on the text message side is included. The photo feature we might add, it would be low enough that you can still upcharge. I'm thinking maybe $5 or $10, just because we do have costs to receive text messages that do have photos that cost more. It's 4x the cost of another. So just want to be totally honest with everyone.
Okay.
But
I'm not looking at. I spoke I probably spoke a little out of turn there, but still, it's worth it.
No. Yeah. We're not looking to nickel and dime people on the song request side. Everything that you saw is included, the contact card. But for the photos thing, because we also need to host the photos and stuff, there might be a charge. But it is actually free now, I will say. I don't plan to charge anytime soon, just because we're still developing it. But let me also pull up Google Photos. Yeah, give me one more second here. So we have had some DJs use it, and you can try the photos thing today. It's just not the polished, totally finished type thing.
Nick, well, let's give him a second to pull that up. I'm just curious from your end, from your perspective as a photographer, videographer, what are your thoughts?
I love this thing. I mean, the first thing that came to mind, obviously, was the DJing stuff, because primarily that's what it'd be used for. The first thing was Wowing Cafe. I was like, man, how amazing would it have been where they can just put the request in at the bar. The bartender puts this little sheet up there, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. That's so awesome. But what I love about it is the text message side of things. It's not an app. It's not something that you have to go download that has to sit on your phone, and you're like, it's so quick and easy. And to Matt's point, it's he's absolutely right. I check every text message that comes through my phone, I am engaging with in some way. I can't say that about emails or applications or something else. So as a videographer, as a filmmaker, I think it would be absolutely incredible for hey, can you come get this shot of us at this table? Or, oh, hey, something really cool is happening over here, in a place where I can't see everything that's going on. That would be awesome. That would be really cool for a video side of things, to use it outside of what it was originally used for or meant for.
Yeah. Also a quick follow-up. I don't know if there are any bar owners here, but in my opinion, I think the bar owner should pay for this, because at the end of the day, they can say, you keep mentioning that wing place and I'm getting in the mood for wings, but like you could say Thursday is 25-cent wing night in the thank you message, right? Or like karaoke and trivia is on Friday. So like I see it as kind of a branding thing for the bar, and the DJ, you know, like the DJ friends I have are making maybe only 100, you know, $75 to DJ at some of these bars. Like I don't think they should have to pay for this. I think it should be there for them, and the bar is really building the brand. But it's kind of my own opinion. Let me share this.
I was just going to add to that too. Yeah. I mean, as you know, as a DJ, you're always trying to find a competitive edge. I mean, this could be a tool that you could go to a bar, you could go to a club with this tool, and maybe be able to, you know, maybe be able to charge a little bit more to cover the cost of this. Maybe the guy, you know, maybe one DJ is making $100, maybe you're able to get $125 to cover this, you know. And again, I just always think about how can I cover the cost of something that I can use to make myself look more professional and better than the next guy that I'm competing against. And so, you know, even if it wasn't a scenario where the bar didn't see it, but it's all about pitching it. You know, you go into the bar and you tell, you know, I don't have to tell people how to do this, but just in case anybody cares, you know, you go to the bar and you say, listen, how would you like for me to be able to interact with every single one of the guests that come in here, to be able to deliver a message to them, and not just, this is completely targeted advertising, because the only way that I'm going to be able to communicate with these people is if they communicate with me first. And the only way they're going to be able to communicate with me first is because they were in your building in the first place. So I know that if I send a message about Thursday night wing night, I think you said Thursday night 25-cent wings. When I send that message out, I know it's going to everybody who has been in this facility already and they're familiar with it. To me, that has a lot of value to it, a whole lot of value to it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yep. Let's jump to a couple of these questions real quick, and then we'll go to your screen share there. What would your advice be when things do go back to normal? Would you use this as an extra cost on a wedding corporate event? Do you have friends that are wedding planners, caterers, musicians, photographers? Yeah, I mean, Lincoln, I'll just jump in, and of course, Matt, obviously this is your deal, so
I think you should answer it, though, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my answer would definitely be yes, and I would say that what I would do, instead of making it an extra cost, I would just figure out what it's going to cost you to use it, and just add that to your whatever you're charging. And again, you can do it at such a minimal level. We're talking about adding $20-25 or something like this to whatever your cost is. It's not something that's going to really put you way over the top. But then you can, just like Matt is saying, he doesn't want to nickel and dime you as a user. You don't have to nickel and dime your end client, your corporate client, your wedding client. You don't have to nickel and dime the hell out of them either. You can just say, hey, oh, by the way, as part of what I'm offering you, this is included in what I'm offering you. So I would definitely say yes, but I would definitely say, you know, kind of come to that price point, and then, you know, just add it to what you're doing. Next question, I might need your help on this one, Matt. Can this be private labeled so it appears to be our own product?
That is a great question. Maybe it would help if I answer it in the screen share, because that I think is really smart. Well, I guess the follow-up is on the photo memory side or the song request. I don't know how you would white label the song request side. We actually don't ever mention the name RequestNow in any text messages, so I don't think anyone would ever know the service. But yeah, on the photo memory side, it's a great point. So let me share this real quick. All right. Still new to all this sharing. Okay, so I click this one. Yeah, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so as I said, if you want, you know, if anyone wants to use this today, it is available, but we're still working on the view to see the photos, if that makes sense. So our end goal, which I think we could have in a few months, is a white labeled site where, you know, it's some website that is not branded with anything and it just has photos. These are just stock photos I found online. And then the idea would be, it's kind of hard to see. I don't know if I can zoom in here, but on the website, it would have like a contact button. And then that's where you would say like your company name. So you could totally white label it. Right now, if you want to use the feature, just because we haven't had the time to build this part, we're just using Google Photos. So we'll put the photos into a Google Photos album. I think it's just a clever way to kind of get this off the ground faster. And we'll just put the photos in there. And this is, an example. And we're not charging for this feature today. So if you used us in the next like 2 or 3 months, we won't charge you for it. Since it would probably be a Google Photos link. But in the future, the reason why there would be a cost is because we do want to host it. And we're thinking we'd probably keep it up for like a year. And again, it's another way for all the guests to be like, oh, wait, who is that DJ again? And then they can click it. So
awesome.
Yeah. So that's the thinking. But I don't want to promise anything.
Yeah,
well,
really
and
cool.
I think from everything, even from this simplistic standpoint, I mean, I think it's, for the most part, it's pretty much white labeled, like you said. From the text message that they receive, it doesn't say anything about the company name, the photo or the image that you create for people to scan the QR code. Like, you basically could create that yourself, or like Young showed.
You can put whatever you want.
Yeah, he just had it on his iPad with just the phone number, and here, everybody take a picture of this phone number. So it's already kind of created, I guess, to be white labeled. And then I think David was saying from the photo side, and David, if you're still on with us, please make sure that I'm thinking through what you're asking properly. From the photo side, at least right now, it doesn't really look like it still really has any trace back to that anyways, you know what I mean? So I think you've done a great job of kind of even maybe indirectly providing the ability for the service and to be white labeled.
Totally. And, a DJ actually said to me, look, I think it's a great idea. I don't really want to get involved in it. What I'll do is I'll tell them to contact you, and maybe we can give him like a $25 kickback or some kind of thing, where instead of like the DJ's charging $25 extra, like we do it. I don't know if I said that. I don't know if that makes sense, but some people don't want to deal with upcharging people, I guess, is what this guy was telling me. But
yeah.
I personally think it's just a nice option. And I don't think it's competing with a photographer or a photo booth. I honestly think it's competing with the bride and groom after the event, trying to find photos and like having to email people. I think this is like a great way to remember the day. That just sounded really cheesy, but like, yeah, I don't know.
No. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we are talking most of the time. We are talking about weddings, and that's definitely what they want to do, is remember the day. Raymond is another one of your users, and his comment here: absolutely perfect for weddings. The idea that guests do not have to download a third-party app, while trying to enjoy themselves is incredible. Super stoked to be able to use this when we're out of COVID-ish. Yep, absolutely, man. And Raymond, hopefully you'll have an opportunity to use it before then. And for people that, again, it's funny how we have these conversations and ideas come to mind, even for the guys that are doing Twitch and are doing these live streams. I know that there's a way to interact through those services as well, but this could potentially be another angle, to use for those services also. I mean, at least from the standpoint of maintaining a level of communication with everybody. David says photo memory can be a great value-added service to differentiate yourself from other DJs, so we can be a better value offering. Yes, no, exactly. And that's exactly what I was saying, is that this is a service that is affordable enough to give you the ability to upcharge the cost. This is not like going out and buying, $10,000 worth of uplighting and then trying to figure out how the hell you're going to make that $10,000 up really quickly on each event. I mean, again, we're talking about even if you just do a per event cost, $13 is where it's at right now, right? Is that right, Matt? $13?
Yeah. And there's no even like yearly. You could literally use this once, not like us, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I love.
So I think you make a good point.
So for $13, you can add, like I said, you could even just add. Hell, you could add $15 to your price. Shit, you still cover the cost of this thing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's one of those things where it's not so expensive that you can't make it up without having to make it seem like you're nickel and diming the hell out of your client. And to David's point, you are able to just differentiate yourself from somebody in your market who's not offering it. That's just my 2 cents.
And
my
one
$13.
Yeah.
Just one thing that I'd like to add to that is, like, I love how it's just, like you said, it's one time and that's it. If you hate it, you're done. But think about like, and I hate to go back to this again, but think about if you booked one event from this service and someone like reached out to you on that contact card, said, man, you went above and beyond, or oh, even like this service differentiates you from everyone else. Man, I'm interested in that. That's kind of cool. How can I book you? I mean, it's worth its weight in gold. I mean, that's
at the end of the day, and this is not a knock by any stretch of the imagination, only because the service is so new. At the end of the day, no other DJ in your community is probably using this right now. We hope to help Matt help a lot of friggin' DJs use it. But right now, a lot of DJs are probably not using it. So it is definitely a differentiating factor immediately, right off the bat. Off the bat. And because of the fact, man, this is, God dang it, man. I'm getting jazzed up now. The other thing I love about this, because you can do this on a per event basis, you can sell it before you buy it, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
You don't even have to pay for it until you need it. Oh my God, dude. That's such a win-win.
And you can request for photographers and videographers too. Like, I mean, you can really use the app or the service as a videography or a photography add-on as well. This is not something that just has to be limited to DJs, which I think is cool. So
yeah, like a corporate event even. I think a corporate event is like, hey, for an extra $50, your company can end this event with all the photos right then and there. And it's like, maybe we'll charge you 10.
Nick,
so
I think you might be onto something too. You might need to sit down and talk with Matt a little bit more about your idea of a photographer or videographer being able to use this from the standpoint of a communication circle, if you will, within what's going on. I think that's a cool little feature. But anyways, Matt, are there any other features beyond? I mean, not that it needs anymore, my God, but I mean, Jesus, man, are there any other features that you guys have talked about or thought about that you want to maybe? Can you mention or maybe want to roll out?
Yeah, I'll mention one just because it's a pretty natural one from the photo memories, and maybe not so much as weddings, but some DJs have asked us, hey, if I brought a monitor, can it be like a slideshow? Can they see the photos in real time is I guess what I'm getting at. And I think this is really a school dance corporate event type thing. So we don't have that built. I think we'll probably add it. So I think it would be cool. My biggest concern though is just someone like in the bathroom taking, you can use your own imagination, taking a photo. And it's just like someone would need to moderate it, right? So maybe it's the DJ saying yes or no, should this be shown? But we would need some way to like approve the photos. And with photo memories, we'll be responsible for just checking every photo for anything, crazy. But I do want to be able to offer the photo as like a slideshow in real time. Because I think there's no reason not to. But we just don't have that built.
Well, and a lot of guys have these setups that either have the big LED screen on the front of their DJ booth, or they've got they've got maybe some totems with a couple of screens off to the side and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So I mean that just naturally makes sense to be able to have that feature available whenever you guys are able to make that happen. I think that's super cool. Yeah. What about I'm just thinking about ideas. What about like, would there be a way to do like a voting thing or like a trivia multiple choice kind of a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking in my head, like, wouldn't it be fun if the couple had like guess the year we met or like guess their favorite restaurant or something, and they used the phone to vote. Yeah, I think those are all things. I mean, I want to add more value to that RequestNow number. It's just about us building it, building it. So I think those are all good ideas.
One thing that I would love to add, just from the photographer and videographer side for ideas, take it for what you will, man. I mean, this is just me. But something from the videographer side that would be amazing is if you could share like videos or Pinterest things or ideas getting ready up to the date of the event. Like, hey, just got the color of this and this is where this is going to be or what this is going to look like. Or, hey, I really saw this thing I liked. Can you somehow incorporate this into the video? Like almost like an idea sharing type of thing. That would be really awesome.
For everyone at the party or just the client?
For just the client, like a client to...
I see, like a portal.
Right. That would be amazing.
Yeah. That makes sense. That one
I don't know if that's something that you could muster up, but that if you could add that too, man, You got the industry on lock.
Someone actually gave me a feature request that's along the same lines, which I think is really clever. So I got to add this, which is like you can enter in the bride and groom or maybe like 3 special people into the system and their name shows up in like green and they're like VIP. Because he was like, I'll text with the bride and groom throughout the event because they're running around. And if they text like, start this thing now, and then it's just a way to communicate without having to look at the phone. So I think what you just said is like the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like
or even the
special portal.
Or even like the wedding planner. That would be another person that would be a great situation where you like you said, the wedding planner is kind of like the VIP. Their number is like a VIP number. So if you get a text that comes in, you know that's important, and not that you're not going to pay attention to all of them, but you might pay a little bit more attention because you know that's coming from probably a VIP number. Man, that's cool. Man, this is a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of cool stuff.
Totally.
So is there any other things that we want to maybe address about it before we move on? And for those of you guys that are watching and paying attention, man, we've been on for almost an hour and a half now. So thank you for sticking around with us, man. We appreciate you guys, and Matt, we appreciate your time too, man, for sticking around.
No, thank you.
Nick and I are known to be those. Who do you always refer to, Nick? Is it Joe Rogan, who just goes on and on and on forever?
We maunder on for a really long time. So
me and
we
Nick
could talk for hours.
Going nuts about this kind of stuff. So I wanted to do something kind of fun with you guys before we wrapped it up, but I didn't want to miss out any questions from the people that have been watching, and also Matt, I didn't want to miss out on anything else that you might have wanted to add before we kind of jump into some little fun stuff before we get out of here.
No, I think that was it. If anyone wants to sign up, just check our site. It's requestnow.io. If you just Google RequestNow, I hope we would show up. And yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Awesome.
Well, that once again, you guys, requestnow.io is where you can go to check everything out and find out more information. We're going to be on for a little while here and do something a little fun. But if you guys do think of any questions while you're still on watching and you want us to address those before we wrap up tonight, obviously feel free to pump those in there and we'll do that. So on the podcast side of things that me and Nick do, shameless plug here, we have a podcast called The Rookie and the Vet. And one of the really cool people that we have kind of connected with is a company called Poddex, and they provide a lot of fun things for us to use for interviews and things like that. So these are just some just off the wall silly questions, and I'm just going to throw them out to both of you guys. Nick, I'm gonna even throw a few out to you. All right. So Nick, I'm going to start with you. All right. So what Guinness World? All right, man. What Guinness Book World Record do you think you could possibly break in the future?
Oh man. I mean, like if I want to, like, I'd love to do something in the video side of things. I think that'd be really cool. But honestly, like most failed attempts at like remembering where my keys are, like truthfully, like something like that, dude.
Or the most time referencing my guy to people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, that would be perfect because I say my guy way too much, or dude, or bro, or gas up. I like to say gas up a lot too. So,
nice. Our new one, Matt. Our new one that we call each other is fella. We just started.
What's up, fella?
We just adopted
that's
fella.
a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. I still like my guy.
Yeah, my guy is pretty solid, man. It's professional, but not like black tie professional.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the right mix.
All right, Matt, I got one for you. When you were a kid, did you have any posters on your wall? And if you did, what were they?
Oh, this one's, I guess, embarrassing. I think I had a Nickelback.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, or maybe or Aaron Carter. I don't know, some like weird phase. Yeah,
that's true.
Okay,
all right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. All right, so Nick, I know you're a coffee drinker, right?
What's that?
That's a good one. Nick, you're a coffee drinker, right?
I am.
Do you have a favorite coffee mug?
I do.
What makes it your favorite coffee mug? What about it makes it your favorite coffee mug?
It's my favorite coffee mug because it's the Cat in the Hat. and look how cool he is. He's just a G. He's just the cat in the hat. There's no one slicker than the cat in the hat. So
you are right about that, man. Cat in the hat is pretty dope. All right, Matt, this one's for you. Do you have a favorite number, and if so, a reason why it's your favorite number?
I've always liked the number 2. I don't know why though. I don't know. It's not 1. It's not 3.
There you go. That's a
it's
solid
a single
reason.
digit. Yeah, it's like It's like the second number. You know.
It's a solid. Yeah, it's a solid even number. Can't go wrong with that. All right, I got one more for each one of you, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. We're about to hit an hour 30 here. I want to respect everybody's time. All right, so Nick, would you ever consider writing someone in jail as a pen pal? And if so, who would you want to write to?
Too late. Already done it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. Man, I mean, I don't want to get too. I want to end on a fun note, so I'd probably say like, I probably write to Joe Exotic from Tiger King.
I was going to say that.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's legendary, so.
I think you get some pretty cool conversation out of him too, man.
Yo,
I want to know if that show was.
Did he kill Carol Baskins? Like, or what's up?
Oh man,
whatever.
That's too funny. I don't know if he'd tell you though, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd tell you.
Yeah.
All right, last one for you, Matt. If humans came with a warning label, what would yours say?
Came with a warning label. I don't know. I can talk a lot. I don't know. Don't talk to me. No, I don't know.
David, I'm gonna turn it around. Yo,
that's
David,
a hard one. Yeah.
What are your two? David,
that?
what are your two answers to those questions? So if you could write to anyone in jail as a pen pal, who would it be?
I got to be honest with you, not just because you said it, but that was the first person that came to mind too,
really?
Man. A Tiger King guy,
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, is the first person that came to mind. And I think that similar to Matt, I think that my warning label would probably be, if you don't like to get into really in-depth conversations about stuff, don't ask me about the event industry.
Oh, true.
Because I do love talking about this industry, man. I do love talking about this industry. I do love helping people in this industry. And God knows, Nick, I know you and I have had like hours and hours of conversations together. So,
too many hours.
Raymond said danger, high maintenance. There you go. That's a good warning label as well. I would agree with that. Might be the case for a lot of us there, Raymond. Very good. Well, guys, listen, thank you so much, Matt, for joining us tonight.
Yes.
We are excited about, what the future has to hold for RequestNow. We are excited about the ability to be a part of the RequestNow family and, working on some projects together. Like I said, Nick and I we got to make a trip down to Daytona tomorrow. So on that car ride, we want to talk about some ideas and stuff. And then we'll definitely keep pushing forward. But this has been great. I definitely think there were some guys on tonight that had some really great questions. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you being on there, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the live portion of this. As always, just to remind everybody that if you happen to watch the rebroadcast of this, or the replay of this, which will definitely be available on our website, weddingbusinessgrowth.com. It'll be available on our YouTube channel. It'll also be in the Wedding Business Growth group. It'll be in the DJs Hub and DJs group, and it'll be in the DJs Vault public group. The replay will be in all of those places. So you can definitely rewatch it, find out everything. Get in touch with Matt. This is amazing product. And the best time to do it is now, when you have time to think about it and you have time to really study and learn and understand the program. So get in touch with Matt. Matt, Nick, I'm going to ask you guys to stick around after we go off air just for a couple minutes. But for everybody else, thank you guys. We'll see you again. We're going to be on, by the way, next week. We're going to be on Tuesday night. We're not going to be able to do Wednesday night. So we're going to be on Tuesday night next week. So stay tuned, and please tell a friend to tell another friend to tell another friend to jump on and watch us. Thank you guys. Have a good night.